No, I shouldn't have done that. Okay. Move this over. Okay. Let's see what we're doing today. Move the stuff over. Move my current stuff out. Hello, Ike. How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining me, sir. I hope you are doing very well, my friend. Dude, I got so much stuff, man. I really didn't organize how I was gonna do this today. I'm actually gonna just try to chill today. I've been feeling, sir. I wouldn't say burnt out. I wouldn't say that, but like tired a bit. I've been pushing so much stuff out and really trying to put in a lot of emphasis in this thing that we do in my art and learning and getting better, and also with the added responsibility of building this channel and trying to have this grow and all the socials. Although I'm having a good time, I need a break. Ink is the best cure for burnout. It is. Oh, what? How are you, Tema? Welcome. Yeah, man. So, um, yeah, we hanging out today. Yeah, please feel free to go nuts. If you guys want to draw something, we could draw something. We could do that. I was doing some cleaning and I found some old stuff. How I just want to go through it. Some stuff made me laugh, but yeah, like you said, I grind and meeting great people and other creatives. Ah, it's all about in this field that we're in. It's all about exposure, right? Hey, hey, everybody, say hello to my mom. Hey, mom. Mama Mello in the house. You get the I'm gonna breeze through some of this stuff because and I hope Susan makes it also, because she said in one of her comments that she was working on some stuff, going through her sketchbooks, and I think that the way she works on her sketchbooks is awesome, and we've already spoken about that. Ike and I, and you, Tema, we was talking about her. I've realized that I've been lying for like 2 years to you guys on my videos, and even in the beginning of my channel. I've been saying stuff like I don't know how to use a sketchbook, I don't use them correctly, or something along those lines. And the reality is that I think, no, the reality is this. It's something that, Tema, that you mentioned before about being indoctrinated. And I think you mentioned about TV when we were young. As a latchkey kid myself, as my mom, single mom at the time. What's up, Saab? Saboteur and the Hizzy worked while we went to school, and we would be home, and TV was kind of like the babysitter for a bit while we took care of our homework and did all this, that, and the other. Anyway, my indoctrination as an artist is that sketchbooks became showcase books, and the stuff that I had in my sketchbooks weren't good enough, or felt that way, because of what people would see and people would showcase on their social medias, on Instagram and all this, that, and the other. And I disassociated myself from my own sketchbooks. Like, I have some here that if I show you and say it's a sketchbook, I'm lying. I'm gonna, for example, I've shown these books a couple of times, and and at first I was calling them sketchbooks, but they're not. I've spent more time trying to figure out what I was going to put in these to showcase a specific skill or talent. And it's kind of disingenuous as an artist to share this with other young artists, or up and coming artists, or even current grown up artists. Hey, this is my sketchbook. It isn't. It isn't. I put a lot of work and thought in what I was doing and trying to showcase, and this is what I want to show, but that's just ingenuous. If there's a young person that I show this to who's starting out, he's going to say, that's not what my sketchbooks look like. I'm not good enough. Hopefully they're stronger in mind and have more confidence in themselves to go, well, mine's are going to be that, this or the other. So when I started these, I had that impression, and I kind of slowly dismissed myself away from these because they are a showcase, and I need to treat them like that. So it's kind of a weird feeling that I'm going through with this stuff, disassociating myself from my own artwork and my own pieces, but in a positive way. And I don't know if that makes sense, even saying it out loud. Because I would lie to you guys if I said, oh, when I was learning how to do gouache, this was the first one I did in January. I did start painting January of 2024 was the first time I started using gouache. And if I show you this, you guys will say, oh, this guy's a savant. He's a natural, this, that, and the other. No, I'm just not showing you the stuff that I throw away. And I think that's why I keep coming up with why I keep saying that is disingenuous. Did I use these to practice? Yes. But I thought a lot about what I was going to do with these. Anyway, I did find some actual sketchbooks for real, that I had hidden in a box. In the place I'm here, we've only lived here maybe 4 years. Born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts. The work is gorgeous. Thank you, Tema. Understand the distinction between show book versus sketchbook. Yes. And for years, that distinction for me was skewed. No artist ever wants to seem like he's not good. Period. And with peers, we may or may not be saying it. We're all really in a weird sense of competition with each other. Right? I see the way you do Tama, the way you do watercolor in your portraits, and I'm like, I need to get better so I can compete, so I can feel like I can talk to her on the same level with her pieces. Same thing with Ike with your ink. Same way with Charles. His ink work and his pencil work are amazing. They remind me of Sean Phillips artwork. But I don't want to get too much into uh, other artists and nerds in terms of how you guys inspire me and how we kind of like always secretly trying to get better and better to meet or match, or it's just the way this world is. I think it's kind of weird. Let me see. So I won't go through all of these because unless you guys want to take a nap, but I'll just go through some stuff because I think it was really telling that I actually did know how to use a sketchbook, that it was being used in that way. And like you're right, no approach is bad, but I think that the way I was thinking wasn't very good for me in terms of growth as an artist and trying to fit a square peg into a round hole is how I felt. No matter how good my stuff was, I was never going to compete because my showcase books, this, that, and the other, and it's just kind of weird. I see, and I don't mean the stuff that I've mentioned as a negative when it comes to comparisons or um, lighthearted competition or anything of that nature. Yeah, for the my eyes only sketches. Yeah, that's true. So because of the way I kind of disassociated my sketchbooks and showcase versus showcase books, uh, I drew a lot on loose leaf sheets. So these are some of the stuff that more recent stuff, but I do have older ones, and I use these a lot because it was easier for me to, oh, I don't like it, crumble it and toss it. Uh, I had no emotional attachment to these because they weren't in a binding. It's kind of an interesting. I don't know. We might have to start going through therapy here. I think I do. This will be therapy for me. I think realizing what it was that I was doing, like okay, I see what I was doing. I don't think I don't see it as a negative in that sense. It was just kind of a weird block that I put myself in, a weird fence that I put between me and being free in a sketchbook or free in a showcase book. But I think maybe 5, 6 years ago, I most of the stuff that I would have thrown away, like this sheet, I kept it. Yeah. So tossing a bad drawing sometimes feels cathartic. Also, sometimes keeping a bad drawing really does show a lot of growth. I've kept some stinkers. Um, we're talking about first time. This is one of the first times I try to do watercolor. Uh, 13 years ago. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even. It's very expressive, but I don't even know. Yeah. So we won't talk about these. But yeah, so uh, I have a ton of these loose. Here, just for an example, I'm going to show you the stuff I have here loose. Not including unfinished paintings, like my Galactus here, but oh my lord. Like, it would be really cool. Alright, you're just being nice to him. But I appreciate, I think the first one, looking at it in a different lens, in two different lenses, and being nice to myself, I kind of like the color. Like, I could appreciate that one a little bit more. Like that one. I like the colors, but you can tell. I think I was using a straw to create that effect. I didn't know. Again, this is me not knowing how to let watercolor do what it's supposed to do. Trying to control chaos, and it was just like, ooh, what the heck. So, but I appreciate it. I think but yeah, I won't go through all. Some of this is more recent than others, but this was just me finally keeping things that I would have thrown out, things that in hindsight probably should have been put in a sketchbook. But yeah. And I go through phases. This was me going through a lot of figure drawing. And these are within the last 4 years. Probably should have cleared out my desk a little bit better than I did. Well, here you go for a comparison. These are, now if that was 13 years ago, these are 4 years ago. And I took advice from, I don't know if he still does YouTube videos, but it was I believe it was a Korean artist, and his channel was MMMM. Oh, what was his name? I'll have to find his name. But he did a ton of watercolor, and I started watching his videos on how to blend, but meh. Put that here. Move this stuff aside. The binded stuff is, I think I was in a groove. I think I was drawing every day. I think the majority of this is during COVID, during the shutdown, and I was working remotely, and I would do my job, and every break I would get, I was trying to sketch something, trying to get better. Yes. So you've heard of him. Yeah, he was great. And MMMOX, something like that. I believe it was like that. Great artist. His watercolors are cool. And I wasn't interested in, because of my previous failures with watercolors, but watching, I'm like, I think I could do that. It was all subtitled, but I'm a visual learner, and just watching him go to town was like, I think I could do that. And some of my more, in my sense, respectable pieces was because of his teaching from afar. But that is actually really funny. Here, yeah, so these are one of my later, more current watercolors. So what I would tend to do on anything, whenever I'm trying to learn a medium, I always go into draw or do pieces on stuff that I love, like anime and manga and comic books. And I did a series of watercolor paintings of animated movies, my favorite animated movies. And those are still my favorite watercolors that I've done, besides the one of my late grandmother. The painting I did of my late grandmother is, I believe, the last watercolor painting I've done. Period. I didn't think I was ever gonna drawing her portrait when she passed away. I thought I was never gonna do it again, and I was prepared to not do it again. But I don't think she would have wanted that for me. Susan's into his ass. Hi, Susan. That's her right there. Susan here. I'll catch you up. We were just talking about my disassociation from what a sketchbook is and what a showcase art book is, that type of stuff, and how I kind of like mentally blocked doing artwork on what would be considered a sketchbook, because I was trying to compare my stuff to things on social media of successful artists and trying to match their level of amazing art. And who's going from there? So by doing so, I did a lot of my practice sketches or pre-sketches on loose leaf, which I found, and we're gonna just go bananas. But again, this is another one of those sketchbooks that became a showcase. Ike, when I stopped doing watercolor, I don't remember if this was before I did watercolors for realsies. I went into inking. The Power of the Ugly sketchbook, the inner sketchbook. Um, I went through inks because I would always hold myself back from inking. Um, so I was like, oh, this is gonna be the book for me. That's gonna do all the inking. This sketchbook is actually kind of old. I'll skim through some of my my ink stuff in here, and I can zoom in a little bit because this is pretty small. I don't know if that made it better or worse. And sounded like we was just agreeing on that, how we use the stuff that we enjoy, movies, shows, cartoons, whatever it is, and these were based on anime or movies. I look at these now sometimes and I go, I'll never have the same patience. Ah. Oh, this one you guys might get a kick out of. I made this into an ornament. I was able to scan it, print it, and created a box. And I have aluminum foil on the outside and put a Christmas light through the flame, and I have it sitting next to our Christmas tree here. I'll take a picture and show you guys. Yeah, it does. It does. This one here, this one in particular. Yeah, absolutely right. Tama, when it's come to proving to yourself, you kind of go hardcore, and I think that's what it was, and and it's funny because they'll just sit here in my office and it'll just collect dust. Oh, here is if Charles from Saboteur, yeah, Saboteur Comics. If you're still in here, this is the only time I've ever used dual tone. You can see how brave I was. Like three cuts, and I actually found this sheet. So I'm gonna have to start watching more of your videos so I can learn how to do dual tone. This has a ton of stages of. What's really cool about this, even though it is kind of a showcase piece, it does have a lot of training stuff. When I was learning how to do use the markers, alcohol markers. Still looks good. You're being kind. Look at that thing. That is shy with the dual tone. I think the only thing the most I'm proud of is that little piece right there. These right here. You should have seen me showing everybody in my house that would give me time. Look what I did. Yeah, I have. That's probably one of the best renders I've done using alcohol markers, and I don't think I've ever matched it. That's another one of those mediums like ink that needs so much patience. That is one of my favorites, though. It's just kind of funny how certain things give you confidence to try something else. Like the inks gave me a little bit more confidence to go with watercolor, the water with the markers on and on. And with the stripes. The young lady, this one. It was. Oh, dang. No, that'd be funny. I'll definitely check it out. I appreciate it. I don't even use the markers as much anymore. And when I do, it's not that it's super rushed, but I just don't have that patience anymore. So it goes from that. And although this is still good, it's a lot faster done. Fast, is that the word? It wouldn't be hastily done. My older cousin is a huge Naruto fan, and he would send me a DM, hey, can you do this for me? And because I'm a nerd, I would roll them up and put them in empty paper towel, the core of an empty paper towel, this thing. Words no good for me. And I would paint this into the scroll, and then roll it inside, and I would ship it to him because we're both nerds, and he'll get a kick out of it. We're grown men, by the way. This wasn't like when we were teenagers. This is recent. Put that away. All right. All right. So let's look at some ugly. And I rebound this. The very first sketch I did in this book is actually, oh God, where is it? Kenshiro. And then I just unbound it and made sure it met my grandmother's in the front. This was when I first started using one of my figurines, who oddly enough looks like Sylvester Stallone, which I think is hilarious. Do it. So yes, Susan, check this. I think I still have one with me. One sec. Let me. Yeah. Yeah, this was me starting the next one. Oh, there's one in there. I think it's the same drawing. Yeah. And I would use acrylic because acrylic is a bit better on that. And I would just paint. I think it's green on the outside, red on the inside, or vice versa. Anyway. I would send it to him with like a bottle of whiskey to the juxtaposition of being young goobers at heart. Put that away. Yeah, and that's his arms. I'm gonna put that away. And just reaching over there to find that roll. I'll have to do several. I'm gonna have to do several of these. Several of these. Just because it's just too much. I didn't realize. And I'm like, I think if I remember, this was with reference, and then without reference, and then without reference. Trying to memorize. That's the same Penguin. And I don't do, so you can tell. I got a lot of cleaning to do. Guys, I'm terrible. Oof. It's just the amount of time that goes by that we don't realize that these are just such weird snapshots. You know, Seth, there's something that I've never, I've always wanted to do sequential artwork. I have Will Eisner's how to book for it, his instructional book for it. Um, I can write some bits and pieces. It's just something that that I wish I made an effort to learn that discipline of sequential art. It's amazing to me. Um, for a guy that grew up reading comic books for so long, the fact that I never did that kind of blows my kind of blows my mind. um, which is why I think I gravitated to the splash page, the cover, the pinup. Oh, I can't do that. I can do this, and I've kind of focused on telling a story with one image and put as much into that one image as possible. But the sequential art, my guy, that I've been wanting to. It's one of those things that I would love to do. Sequential art, Tema, in its simplest form, is graphic novel storytelling, comic book art, where um, you're telling your story sequentially in images. That's all. That's all. Not to simplify it so much so. So instead of sequential art, I would do pinups like that. So if you know who the Punisher is, in this case, it would be Frank Castiglione, Castle, Punisher. Yes. Yes. Yeah, sorry for all the shuffling. I really didn't um, organize this stuff. I have a bit of OCD, so if I was to sit down and try to organize this, I would have been doing it by year, date, color, uh, the month, the color by in alphabetical order. Uh, here, let me see. I do have. I'm trying to scramble for something real quick because I do have. I wouldn't call it sequential art, but it was kind of like a storyboard, and I think you'll get a laugh out of it. Ah, here it is. Oh, there it is. This is the most the closest I've gotten to sequential storytelling and storyboarding, and it's a story of Poseidon fighting a cat, and it's Poseidon and the cat hissing in front of him, the cat attacking, and then the cat overcoming. So I'm glad I never do it this way. I would love to do this one day. Was each artist always responsible for the whole story, or some just do covers? Um, that's a good question, right? Because I think The when it was when first sequential storytelling was told through comics and stuff like that, they were shorter stories. So think of them as comic strips, newspaper comic strips that'll tell you a story in 3, 4, 5 panels, um, and then a comic book expanding. But a comic book originally was also a compendium of stories, and they would have one artist that would tell the whole thing. And there'll be several pages, a quick short. They were usually short stories, I believe. I think once they got popular and they started doing monthly style or long form storytelling, where a cover artist would be different than the internal artist. Just I think also because they knew selling the story. The main artist may not have been able to do everything in in the allotted time. If it was a monthly book, I'd so. But then if you have a bullpen of great artists like they do in Marvel back in the days, they would have their most popular artist do the cover and maybe a secondary artist do the internal. They got you. The kids don't care. We don't care. We just want to see. But I didn't start really getting into comics until it was the 90s, where everything was, not everything, the majority of we was looking at was gimmicky. Gold foil, silver foil covers, 3Ds on them, multiple covers. For one book, like one of the most, if I'm right, the highest selling book in the 90s was Jim Lee's X-Men #1, and it had 4 individual covers for the same story. And if we was buying all 4 covers, but he did everything. Yeah, so this stuff, this is basically my sketchbook. All my little heads, incomplete heads. I'm sorry if let me see if I can lower this light. Collectible pogs, yep. And during that time, comic book swimsuit specials, which was just trashy and hilarious as I think about it. Yeah. I think this was during my time of learning the brush pen. You can tell by the hair. And that mustache. Isn't that nice? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bump the mic. Good Lord, these are bananas. That is supposed to be Michael Shannon. The actor that played Zod. Oh, the swimsuit. I have a Epic X-Men collection, and in the back of the book it has the swimsuit. One of the swimsuit specials is like, oh, how trashy. My SpongeBob as the Spirit. Will Eisner's the Spirit. Stuff to let go. I believe these were using a quill pen. The Crow Quill pens. And I'll draw anything. My job would, during their recycling days, they'll be throwing away all of these cardstock. Instead of like recycling or give back programs. And I would take them. I can't remember if these were using my figurines or this was after studying the figurines and trying to go microns. I like the hair. Oh, they're not necessarily quill pens. They are, I think, believe that's what they're called, crow quills, because they resemble them. But it's basically the calligraphy pens. Or here, I'll show you in a second. I'm gonna mute myself because my dog is bananas. Okay. So the Tema, these are more commonly known as Hunt 102s. Not this one because I can't afford a Hunt 102, but these are would be considered a quill pen or dip pens for calligraphy. So this, I believe, was inked using this, and you can get really good line weight, varying line weight with these things. This is another one of those tools that just is really cool. You feel like an artist when you're doing it. I don't have the patience for it. The ones that you drew, though, oh, you meant like the brush pens. How long ago? Let me see. I think I dated them. Those are fairly recent as well. Like, and I don't date all of them. But if it's here, it's going to be within the last 5 years, like this here. Hey, let me pull those out as well. Why not? All right. Are you referring to these type of these brush pens? Oh, I think this one's dry. It's kind of dry. Yeah, these most of this stuff, unless it's in the sketchbooks I have on my right, is within the last five years. Yeah, this cool one is June 2021. You guys remember Ed and Eddie? My kids, my oldest, loved Ed and Eddie. Ah, okay. Let me scooch these. Let me actually show you guys the sketchbooks for realsies. These are unbelievable. I think it would take a forever age to try to sort all of this stuff out. And my daughter, she would hate me for this, but I'm really proud of her. This is her artwork. Her own original characters, and I think I painted this using markers after she drew it. And I think she was like, her hair's not purple. I should have asked. But she has such a cool, distinct style. It's beautiful. She's kind of transitioning from being this type of artist to a wordsmith. She likes to write. All right. I would always, whenever we would sit together and draw, whatever, my daughter and I, and even with the kids here, I'll do draw an angry face, and we'll draw angry faces together and compare and take notes from each other. Some of these are really sharp with this. 6 years. Let me get out of this mess and get my sketchbooks out. Yeah, I think that's also quill pen. Yeah, you can kind of tell. They hate art, but but they do like and play music. That's cool. That's art. Yeah, she's amazing. She would always see me drawing or whatever, and at the time I was doing a lot of digital work, and she would ask, "Can she do it?" Oh, of course. Create another layer, and hook it up for her, and she would just go to town. And next thing you know, I would be asking her, "Hey, can I use my art tablet?" And once that started happening, you kind of know that they're super artistic, and I'm like, okay. And we started not pushing, but introducing the type of mediums to her. I actually like that watercolor. That's supposed to be watercolor of Batman during his first kiss. He didn't like it. Or he didn't know how to do it. One of the two. I was going to do stickers of that. Yes, my wife, she used to draw before me. She would hide it. Oh, not good, but she's really good at it. She used to paint in oils. She hasn't done so lately. She hasn't done so in a while. She judges herself quite harshly, but she's amazing at it. Let me scooch these over. Thanks for swinging through, Charles. I appreciate you, man. What is in here? More figure art. This is the one thing. You guys see that I used figurines a lot. If it ain't this guy, or it's these. And in a lot of this artwork, I'm either using figurines or hey Barbero, thank you, buddy. I got them all. Or fashion magazines. And I think the biggest challenge is trying to make these things look and feel real. And you can tell, like this is I think the fashion magazine, and then this is the figurines. I was always trying to find the balance of both. Where was it? Where'd you go? Like, it may be anatomically correct. His legs are kind of huge. And I think it might have been this one. The hardest part is trying to separate and blend the two to make it look realistic. And then trying to follow those guidelines to do so. I wish I would have finished that lion. One thing I also wanted to do was, thank you, Gemma, is draw bigger. I still have a habit of drawing either too big. If you see most of my stuff, my character is either an elbow or something sticking out of the page because I want him to feel bigger, larger than life, or I don't measure enough. I don't measure well enough to put him completely on the page. But silly. The fashion mags work really good, so as you know. But I think after going through about several months of my wife's subscription of the stuff, it was always the same model. Not the person, but the same pose. None of it was ever unique at one point, and I saw it all. Yeah. I don't know if that reads well. There goes the man, Beta Ray. Still too big for the page. I was drawing this and I was actually in it, going to town with kind of like what I do now with inks and the rubbing stumps and creating effect. And I spilled coffee on the paper. And I was like, that looks like something I might come back to do. And I never did. But that wolf, whatever the heck that is. I would do that often as well. I bought these watercolor postcards, blank postcards made of watercolor, and instead of actually drawing on that, I would use it as stencils. I would use them as stencils on bigger pieces of paper, or as scraps from when I'm painting. Instead of ruining another sheet, I would just use the paper to get the visual cue of the color. Sorry, I keep banging the mic. But yeah, I don't know how many times I've drawn that figure. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because of those magazines. But I mean, you'll never be in need of a models. And I needed to because I was using comic books so much, and most of them, if not all of the characters, are basically either in skin tight or nude style clothing, that it was difficult for me to imagine and drawing bulk on someone, drawing a jacket, drawing actual fashion or clothes. And this helps. Rushmore of sketches. Wow, this is 5 years ago. Of course, you guys remember the Power Rangers. That's funny. So what I would do is I would try to find a figure in a pose or in a setting, and then make them into something else. These are all from models. That's all from my figures, my figurines. A little thick. Then of course my faces. Ah, sorry. You guys want to see what I think is the oldest piece of my artwork that I still have, dated 1997. I'll definitely have to. I'm going to sort this before I show that picture. To sort these a bit better, just so I can. Because I think it'll be kind of cool to go through some of these. Because this is basically what I would have done in a sketchbook anyway. Oh, there goes the color pencils, Ike. Your boy be lying over here. I think that's no, that's color pencil. Look at all this page. Look at all this real estate that I just I just leave blank. Oh, it's too faded. My Catwoman, which I never finished. I think this has more refined figure drawing. Dude, you saw, I think it's only line art. That's only line art. And then I went too light. Obviously, when you're unsure, you start everything light. So, Tama, according to my mom and most of my memory, I think I was always drawing. I was very introverted and shy. So my mom always reminds me that all I ever had was a sketchbook or a notebook under my arm and crayons or whatever, something to write on. And if I was feisty, give him something to write, give him something to write on, give him something to draw on. That's my earliest memories as that. And I know I was kind of introverted and I didn't really like being around people. I was the youngest boy with two older sisters, so I was already uncool. Um, I would disappear. People would come to the house. Oh, you like to draw? I would grab my stuff, grab my pencils, and walk right out of that room. Like I can sit in a room full of people and you don't have to talk to me, and I'll sit there and draw. I think I kind of liked being in that place because I kind of was a watcher of people, a people watcher. But yeah, I think I've always had that type of just kind of throw stuff on paper. I think that as I got a little older, I used to hang out with a cousin of mine by the name of Robert. He, I wouldn't say he was an artist, but he can draw and copy very well. He he can see an image or a drawing and copy it almost one for one. He was really good at it. He was intricate at it. He took his time. And like most little kids that like it, can you draw something for me? Can you do that for me? Can you draw something for me? And he said probably the most important words. I won't tell him that, but most important words that you can tell someone that has that in mind is do it yourself. Do it yourself. And it was kind of like a challenge and okay, do you really think I can do that? Of course you can. Type of attitude from Rob, and it went from there. And I traced. I remember tracing uh, Charlie Brown Peanuts, right? Newspaper comic strips. I remember tracing those. That's how I started. From my earliest memory of drawing for real, it has to be copying Charlie Brown, tracing over Charlie Brown Peanuts comic strips, and then trying to do it separately, trying to do it from memory. Um, yeah, and he had comics, but it wasn't kind of like he wasn't a collector. He just had cool stuff, and some Marvel, some DC. He wasn't necessarily that type of a. He needed to collect it. He just had a few, as most teenage kids would have a few, and I would just stare at them. He had some that, in hindsight, when I read them, were really important. He had the Batman Death in the Family, where they kill Robin. Well, at the time he was dead. He came back since then, but he had Death in the Family, where they kill Robin, and from a kid that only knew those characters from Saturday morning cartoons, and then seeing a comic where they kill that character, I can't remember how old I was. It was definitely mid 80s. It's like, what the hell is this? What is this? Joker whipping his ass. Uh, it messed me up in a good way because the storytelling was just beyond me, and that had to be it. Had to be it. I think it would absolutely help him out. And I haven't stopped really being an introvert artist. Mm, it would always be hanging on my wall. That's not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to share this stuff. But so that's really where I remember the most of starting to draw. Cousin Rob. Thank you, Cousin Rob. And I had a very vivid imagination, and it would be, and I would create the sound effects out loud while I'm drawing. So it didn't matter what type, if it was a crash, a gunshot, a yell, a grimace, a growl. I'm as I'm drawing, so that's I was in my own little world doing it. I'm trying to think. I was never really serious about it. It was just something kind of like I can do, and it allowed me to be, I wouldn't say standoffish, but it allowed me to be interesting while still being an introvert and being able to walk away. The mind games of a 10-year-old. Oh, that's cool. Did you learn how to draw? And just walk away. um, uh, oh, you're welcome. Career wise, when I thought, oh, I would love to do something like that forever, was Pixar. Toy Story. Watching Toy Story and seeing what they can do with computers and CG was like, you can turn my drawing and make it move like that. And then that's what I went to school for. That was the intention. I went for graphic design and communication, and they had some digital arts classes, and I was like, that's gonna be me. It never really panned out because I graduated right when the .com companies all crashed and burned. So I graduated in 2000 when I was ready and I had digital and I can do all this stuff on the computer. Fresh face. They didn't want that. So I was always in a place of, can it make money for me? Should I continue this? Is it just a hobby? Is it this? Am I ever going to make anything out of this? And I'm glad for my wife, who's been with me forever, that she always encouraged it. I've quit drawing so many times. I'm never going to do anything. It's never going to amount to anything. And she would always pull me back in. Oh, there you go. You guys want creepy? Some Willem Dafoe for you. I don't know who I was trying to draw here. I can't see the face. Right, let me move this stuff to the side real quick. Let me show you that old the oldest. Oh, here it is. From 1997, using, I don't even know what type of markers these were. I'm so happy I kept it. Yeah, check out that. I think I did more work on the signature. She very much is. Thank you, Thelma. She very much is. I wish I would have dated this. I think this is kind of crazy. This was the peak of my digital portrait art. I forget the actor's name, but this is from a still photo from a Genghis Khan movie. I forget the actor's name, but that was the peak. I'm trying to guess. This actually may be like 10 years old. This digital portrait. And of course, you gotta have this guy. Oh, then it has to be older. 2015? That can't be right. 2015? What the hell? Yes, this is digital. I thought that was gonna be my route. I thought it was gonna be digital. Again, because of Pixar. Because of Pixar, I thought that was gonna be the way for me. It's gonna be digital. It's gonna be that's the way for the future. And oddly enough, I think going to school and learning the history of art and seeing the type of work that those artists were doing then for posters, for propaganda, for movies, and you'd go, "That's not Photoshop." No, they didn't have Photoshop in the 1940s. That's airbrush. That's this, that, and the other. Go, what the? I came out of there, yes, knowing digital art, but with a huge appreciation for the stuff that came before, and that stuck with me longer than wanting to do digital. Like I still do some digital work. Here, I'll show you my most recent. This is the last one I did for personal. I had to dabble on digital when I was doing book covers. Excuse me. Last year I had the opportunity to do some book covers, and I, with my hubris, I thought I would be able to do most of it in painting. Um, so the first one kind of like kicked me in my butt. So this is actually kind of cool in hindsight. This is a mix of painting, gouache painting, and digital blended together. And it's for a book titled "Giving Full Details," and the author Lewis Colbert and all these are other authors of it was short stories and poetry. They wanted it to appear like an old school theater. So it was really cool to blend the two. And this kind of, probably the reason why I call myself a mixed media artist, even though right now I'm sticking to gouache, but we have the way things are. It behooves us to know a little bit of everything, right? Also, this is another one I did. This was supposed to be released already. The publishing company's going through some stuff to get it out. I can't wait to see that on the outside. This is for another book from them. I did about 7 covers for them. This is another one that is the majority of this is gouache. The effects of the moon and some of the rays is digital. For a book titled Secret Admirer. So before the author gave me what they wanted, I'm going to show you the incompleted version of what I was going to try to do. What was that one? So this was my idea, and I was going to pitch this, and then they told me what they wanted, and I was like, I'm gonna move that to the side. But I actually like this, even though I didn't finish it. I think I kind of lost what was going on here. Ah, oh, okay, I see what you mean. The one of the the greatest thing I take out of the experience of doing these covers is stuff that I would never have any interest in painting a porch with a gift. No, like there's no story I have in my mind, in my heart, that has this in it. So it was really, really cool to interact with uh, very specific artists in their own way, because these writers are very much artists. They see what they're writing. I know that sounds kind of weird saying it out loud, but they see what they're writing. And I'm like, okay. But then he looks kind of like a vampire. But yeah. Either way, this one came out really good. I'm really proud of it, even though it's clearly different. I have, if you guys are interested, I can show you guys some of these covers. You get a little sneak peek before the books come out. Ain't nobody watching. They'll never know. Right? Don't tell nobody as you show the world. And who mentioned this? It was who mentioned about pushing ourselves. Was that you, Susan? When you're in a new medium and you push yourself, or Tama? This was that. This was that. Like, this was last year. So I may have just been painting with gouache for less than a year, and I was trying to do something as I don't even know, bigger than my skill level. But I had to. You never know how far you're gonna get if you don't try it. Um, there's a guy here called Northwest Museum of Commerce. I wonder if something like that is near you, and you could collaborate with them and get an exhibit. I could definitely try. I'm not that far from Jacksonville, Florida, and they have a great art community here. Again, I'm still getting past that introvert artist. Like 2 years ago, there was a fanzine in Jacksonville, and I met some real cool people. I met people that have their own YouTube channel, and I met Jim Rugg there, or saw Jim Rugg there. He's a great YouTuber and a great he's an Eisner-winning comic book artist, and just was like, I went there with my wife and my daughter, more with the intention to show my daughter, hey, look at what the world is out there. You like to write your own fan fiction, so do these people. You know, this is what it looks like to be around people like yourself. And I didn't branch out. I didn't speak to anyone. We just looked. I think I bought one thing. So I got to get past some of that I don't belong here mentality. So, because I do feel like I belong. That's just a fact. It's just though I'm doing a lot of exposure work in a sense. It's terrible. I don't get the chance to date these. This is from an old sketchbook. This is the tone gray. You think so? Well, yeah. I don't know. That's funny though. So, are you guys currently working on anything, or are you guys just watching me go through my laundry? I'm really bugged out by this image. Like that really bugged. That's crazy to me. Yeah, this here, the Strathmore toned. Uh, People walking into an art gallery with your work and a white cane. That's funny. No, I think your story is amazing, and it's touching all the same. It really is. It really is. Let me see here. Oh, Ike, I was going to show you something. Let me grab a book real quick. I remember Ike a few videos back, or a few I don't even know what to call these. Last time we hung out, we was talking about figure drawing. That you was gonna go into figure drawing, and I was talking about a book that I picked up, but I didn't. I never even, in hindsight, I never even spoke about it. And Tema, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Here for all the right reasons. Ah, that's why. My charcoal. I work on my cat. My cat was 15 years old. She just passed away recently. A cat named Aunt Bunny. Um, no, I don't think so, Susan. I would take that. We was here singing your praises on how you take care, how you do your art, your sketchbooks, what you do after them, and give them out as gifts. And you tear it up, how you tear them up, and do your own kind of Mod Podge work on it, and I think that's pretty cool. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you guys can use me as noise in the background. I really appreciate you guys being here. Oh yeah, so so this thing here is Let me zoom in real quick as best as I can. I ended up picking it up for. It was pretty inexpensive when I picked it. It was a huge sale on it. Nothing but figure art. These guys, I think. I had to use my phone to translate, and the majority of this stuff is digital. Yes, Seb. I will. Like I said, with my books, I'll misplace them, or I'll put them someplace, and I won't see them for a while. And I probably wouldn't have seen these if I didn't want to take a break from artwork. But as good as these books, all I'm showing is all the provocative poses. That's hilarious. Um, the thing with studying these type of books, as I go in tangents, is I don't want to draw like this guy. So I'll have a tendency of copying his models instead of trying to make it fit my work, because I'm trying to use his guides. But visually, it's really cool to see because it totally mimics my figurines. So if I can just find a way to see the world that way, continue to, I think I'll be able to use this book a little bit better. But it's a huge resource, and it goes through all of the parts of the anatomy: the head, the arms, the torso, the legs, the hands, the feet. And then it goes into 3D lighting later on, perspectives and angles. And then it goes into 3D space and lighting, which is kind of cool. Let's see what I see here. I save my sketchbooks, flip through them every so often. I should have stayed consistent. I took a long break for 20 years, catching up with less than I. No, it's in there. I think that stuff is inside, Susan. It's just think of it as Captain America frozen in ice. You're gonna chip away through it, and you're gonna have an amazing. Your art is still there. It's just as amazing as it was when it went in there. When it got frozen in that block, you'll see. I think so, but let me see. The box mannequin. I had his name the other day. It's not Higgins. It's not Hogarth. His box mannequin is more in line with a 3D figurine than the one I think you were referring to, because he does a lot of 3D art. Oh my gosh. Where are you? I think it's under scripts. RN. October videos download store. Huh. I don't have it anymore. Bridgman. I think it's Bridgman. Yeah. So I think the Bridgman construction mannequin that's boxed up. I think that's what. I had to go through my my library on my computer. I'm sure this will be cool. I've tried looking at it, but I'll tell you what happens. This is what happened with me when I used books like this, where you'll learn, yeah, but you're kind of like, you'll end up mimicking. And like, that's not how I draw. Like, I appreciate the anatomy and what it looks like, but I'm never gonna go back into my work and do these forms. So am I really learning how to do it, or am I just copying what I see? And maybe if I do it enough, right? That's how us artists end up having this payoff. All this training is that. So I'm learning how to do rock texture. Oh, there you go, right? Ballpoint. You inspired me, man. When I started looking through your stuff, this is in August. I was like, that dude, man. I gotta catch up. Yeah, I think so. There's something got to get stuck in there, right? From all the stuff we practiced, Tama. It has to. I think that's the Rolodex that I mention every once in a while. Oh, that's awesome. This was part of my Old Testament portraiture. Yeah, man, there's something about it. There you go. No Abraham and David. Also, do you guys know about the XYZ method when doing folds on clothing, or like on an arm? I'm sorry, the quality of this thing is so bad. So let me. I'll use this thing. All right, I'm gonna probably butcher this because exactly what you mentioned, how we take in a little bit. So I saw it somewhere, and I wish now that I can remember. But the XYZ, uh, for let's say an arm. Hopefully that'll be dark enough. If it's not, let me see if I can zoom in here. One moment. I might have to grab a pen instead. All right, I'll just do this. The arm, whatever. The elbow. And if you can't see it, I'll try to go over it. I think this light is too bright. So starting at the shoulder to the elbow to where the wrist would be. The X's would be where the light and I'll do it this way. so I'll butcher it. I might have to lower that light. And it doesn't just have to be on an elbow, but I wish I had. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. If you're having trouble, if you don't have any reference or anything like that, you can use this method to do folds. So that being the X, the Y. I probably did it in the wrong direction, and the Z. And that can help you determine like harsher folds. If that makes sense. Give a thumbs up, why not? That's super rough. But yeah, so, and it doesn't have to just be on that. If it was a torso, you can do the same. It's just a way for you to not have to worry so much of how the folds or wrinkle would be on clothing. You can use it to embellish, if that makes sense. I saw it somewhere. I should definitely practice it more. But I have a feeling that I did that on my storm painting. And I'm going to have to look back like if I may have done it subconsciously. Right, it's such a simple, it's like a weird, I said the same thing when I saw it. I was like, get out of here. And they obviously, I'm butchering it here, as we all do. Secondhand joke, when you tell a joke secondhand, it's always not it's never as good as the original. I couldn't unsee it, but I wish I would have paid a little bit more attention to how it was done. But it made sense. I'm like, what the hell? That was awesome. And now I can't remember where I saw it. Yeah. Yeah, this is that. So, yeah, this is way too big. But ye, depending on where in the form you're gonna use it, absolutely, it works. It oddly enough, it works. Our mind will do the rest. All right, this is me doing a caricature. That's not a caricature. That's a, what are they called? A self-portrait. Oh my lord. Yeah. So whoever that guy, the unnamed artist, that's to him. He helped us out. I'd rather do stuff like this all day. Yeah, I think this skull was using this book. Was using this book. And I think I would rather use these tactile skulls for practice. Problem when using these is your hand won't sit still. I've had something to hold it. I used a kneaded eraser and put them in there to help. If only the mouth would come unhinged, it'd be kind of dope. Sav, I don't know if you're still in here. If I would have seen the Saboteur Comics here has one model like this where it's the more skin texture, got an ear on it, and it has the skull on the other side, which is really cool. The set I has, the set that I have has progressions, so it'll have a polygonal view, smoothed out, more detail than in a real smooth one. I have a male and female one. Yeah, the split head one is really dope. It's funny. I'm surprised. I was gonna put out a notice time for somebody out there needs to create that and make money and just build one of these, because I'm sure this is all this is a 3D printout. Put some eyeballs in there. Maybe something that you can move with a lever back here that you can move around. But I used this for that one here. But it didn't have the eyes. I put the eyes on for this one. So so you I also put one in the nose bone. So you modeled a nose for the skull? I like those. I like this one. Well, I'm not affiliated with these people, but this is where I got these from. I got these about another set of models 2 years ago. And they're great for that. Sorry. Yeah, so they come in progression. So it would be this guy, the musculature for this one, and then polygonal. These are really cool for painting too. Just seeing the planes of the face. And then a completely smooth one. But yes, if I would have seen that version, I think I would have gotten it. Because I don't know. I think I've used this, but I don't use it often. I'm gonna see if I can. Here, I'll put him up a little closer if you wanna. Where'd you go? This one. Duct tape. Duct tape to what? They're like, don't ask, enjoy your heads. I don't think the female one, I don't think I use it as often. Even when I'm drawing female heads, even though the skull's like a skull, but think they're too smooth. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Ike, for being here. You have a great evening. Yeah, I did Amazon as well. Yeah, Amazon as well, sir. Um, here you go, Tema. The my long, I don't think so. I could try to find the link for you if you like. I probably should. I should still have it, and I can send you the link. Um, they send them individually, and like we mentioned, there's one that has partial skull. I don't know which one I would prefer. I like the kind of like the stylistic version of this polygonal view of the skull. But I do appreciate the. That's so funny though. Oh, awesome. You gotta have one of Bob Ross. That's a terrible image of Bob Ross. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I kind of needed a. I've been, like I said earlier, kind of not burnt, but a little bit tired. And although I have ideas and I have this desire to keep painting and draw something every day, I feel like I've kind of like my engine's revved up a little too high, and I need to kind of relax before I blow a gasket or something. Um, you can't forget to take care of yourself, my peoples. Like for example, let me move this stuff away before I call it an evening with you guys. I really do appreciate you guys being here, hanging out. Oh, this is the I don't know how to do it in here. That Batman that was trying to. I really do like that. That's so funny. These are bugged out. I got to do. I'm going to. I'm going to try to organize these a bit better, and I'll see about making. Let's see about making a sketchbook tour or something. Yeah, Susan, you are absolutely right. But yeah, just to give you guys an idea of just within the last maybe week or so of the stuff I've been wanting to do. This thing is already sprayed and ready for me to paint. I'm just kind of figuring out the color scheme. If Salvatore is still here, I might end up asking for some for some ideas, because I actually wanted to send this to you for Tommy. Not for that, but in honor of Tommy. I had another idea for that collab. My Fonzie ghostwriter. No, it isn't. It's in here. That's what I'm saying. Awesome. So, Gabriel, thank you for being here. First of all, thank you. That's what I was talking about with the group here, about taking a moment and taking a break, because that's another piece that I have in here that I'm still working on, and personal project. This is another project that I wanted to, for another artist. This is the Hulk and Wolverine one that Gabriel was talking about. That I took a moment, and I took a moment because there was a point where I became very unsatisfied with it, with the whole thing. Why it was taking me so, like, I was treating myself a little bit harsh on something that is just a personal project, and it kind of like hit the brakes on the progress. So this is the last thing that I worked on what were we on, Friday? But the longer I step back away from it, there's things in here that are pulling me into it, and I'm beginning to see the progression. So this is where we are, Gabriel. See if I can get a little closer so you can check it out. Oh, my dog's being bad. Like in real time, I was struggling with this here, but I'm okay with it now. There's certain things I want to fix with the planes, and all of the things that happen because of lack of planning, I'm dealing with. Like, I went headfirst with excitement and kind of like, let's go for it, that I painted myself to pun intended, into a corner. And I'm doing my marks, whatever it is. So, I'm still happy with it, but I needed to take a break. I don't know if that happens to you guys every once in a while with a project. I almost stopped over the weekend. I was like, I might have to just put it to the side, but instead I'm like, nope, just take a moment, take a break, and come back. Yeah. And what else? And this taking so long kind of have hit the brakes on these other projects that I have here laying around that I want to finish. So now I'm blaming this as if it's a separate entity for my lack of progression. And it's just all mental, because I'm mental. You guys may not even be here. You might be a figment of my imagination. Switch that over. So yeah, this thing, and which I need to be proud of, because I think it's fantastic. And I'm not trying to be egotistical or anything of that nature, but yeah, man. The burnout is real. Yeah, it is. It is. And there's so many things. Like, this is another one that I want to do that I've done recently that may be one of the tightest drawings I've done in quite some time. So tight that I'm back to, do I want to ink it? I might ruin it. Like that mentality. And I think it's because I haven't jumped into the pool in my decision at all. Am I gonna ink it? I want it to have pure dark, so I'm making excuses or whatever it is, and I got acrylic ink because I don't want matte black. I want a sharp black ink, not ink, sorry, acrylic paint. So now I'm second guessing. So that's what kind of like today's refresh mentally is what I need. And I might not do anything for the next couple of days and just keep cleaning up my room. Do I ever scan? I do have scans lately of all my work, all my pencils. Um, and I did a blue line. I scanned and did a blue line. Uh, oh Lord, help me out here. A blue line version of this for Rob Norton because I asked him if he would like to ink it, and he said yes. So I sent him a grayscale and a blue line, which is what brought me to asking you about your blue line template, because I wanted to feel like a comic book artist and kind of scan that on that, or scan some of these on that and just try to ink it, which I don't normally do. I kind of pushed away from that because I'm gonna ink right over this. But then again, I've been second guessing myself. Anyway, and my Shitara, which I did on board, and I feel it was a successful drawing, and I'm like, well, should I keep going? I'm overthinking everything because of lack of progress. Not progress. That's not the right word I'm looking for. I'm kind of like in traffic, and it's slowly moving, and it's making me overthink everything. So I'm not having fun, even though I want to have fun. And I got a snarf over there. So this what's happening here feels kind of like traffic. So, and today is kind of like construction during traffic. Yeah. I might have to. I think that um, it's kind of a weird thing, Seb. So that when my artwork has gotten better because of my painting, and I don't know if that makes sense. No, I know what you meant about seeing what the pencils were. Um, my picture I showed you last time of the Swamp Thing, I had a scanned image of my pencils on my screen because I was losing it over the paint, because I was painting over the original. So I was using my pencils to keep me in check. Uh, but I kind of like the idea of preserving these and then scanning it on Bristol or something, because, like I mentioned before, the paper really doesn't deter me from anything. It's just as long as I can draw, I'm going to use whatever textured paper is best suited for me. Like in this pile, mixed media, what is this? Bristol vellum? Nope, watercolor. I was way off. Watercolor paper. This is acrylic paper. And of course the artboard. And this is Bristol Smooth. So the paper in a sense doesn't really matter that much to me as long as I can get the desired drawing on it. When it comes to painting, I could, like you mentioned, I can print out my blue line. I could print out whatever my sketch is onto a Bristol. I'm going to spray it or fixative at that point and paint right over it. I like these ladies. I don't know why. But yeah, man. I got so many of these things. I gotta figure this out. So I appreciate you guys. It's been 2 hours. I won't take too much of your time. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, spending some time with me. Gabriel, it's Gabriel. If you're still there, I appreciate there's somebody still out there going, "Hey, what's up with that Hulk drawing?" So it makes me not want to quit. That's real talk. I'm just letting you know right now. Uh, so yeah, I think I just needed a quick breather. I still have stuff, guys. Next week on Monday. Next week Monday, I have a video coming out that's very special to me. It is, and it's funny that this thing is about sketchbooks and stuff like that. Goodbye, Susan. Thank you so much for swinging through. I really appreciate it. On Monday, I am going to do. I'm going to be sharing the video of how I did this sketch. The last, you guys get a sneak peek for free. The last page on this sketchbook. I started this sketchbook when I relabeled this channel for what it is today, for Arts of the Round Table, and I also give a quick review or just kind of like a playthrough through it at the end of it. I would really appreciate if you guys check it out. I am very proud of that video, not only for the video, but because of what this sketchbook means. And after talking about how using sketchbooks in a specific way and whatever, all of that, I think it'll be really cool. So that's coming out on Monday. If you guys get a chance, check it out. Let me know what you think. I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. With that, guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, man. God bless you. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. And yeah, man, I really, really appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions, please share them with me. Send them through. Leave me a comment, obviously. You guys are my buds. So I will see you guys on the next one. Hey, where my nerds at? This for you. Well, you guys have a good one. Appreciate you. Always. God bless you. Start to the round table. I'll draw you later. Bye-bye, y'all.